Namo Nui Savariyandam, Namo Nui Savariyam, Namo Nui Savariyam, Namo Nui Savariyam, Namo Nui Savariyam, Omkara Mindu Sanyuktam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Chayumkarai Namo Manganam Bhagavanayo Manganam Bhutamuni, Manganam Kunkundari Ujendra Musumanganam Namasanari. Swanubhutya Jata Siti Swadhay Bhavaya Jata
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Vajjanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Om Karam Bindu Sanyuktam Nityan Dhyayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Shaiva Om Karaya Namo Namo Nama Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanati Mirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayvantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayvantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Sao Jayvantavarto Netirthachara Jagama Jayvantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarutene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dhani Divyano Jina Kunda Dhvaniyatya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamel Sarve Siddhane Vandika Ho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhata Are Ek Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamay Kare Kahi Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathi Are Jamanetra Te Majjnana Nati Karak Nathi Vedak Are Jani Jakara Modaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Sri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Janendra. Today is May 17th, 2017, Wednesday, and we are continuing our discussion on Samaysar. We are on 12th stanza, and the 12th stanza, little bit background to understand that stanza better. We decided to go through this Gunsthanak, because if we have pretty good idea about Gunsthanak, then this stanza helps it out to understand much better. Stanza is very simple. I mean, appears to be very simple, but there's a really deep meanings are present in that stanza. So we will start that, and wherever we are left out last time, we will start from that. So I'll share the screen. Let's see. Yes, it's there. Okay, we were on this slide last time. That the Gunsthanak. Gunsthanak means what is spiritual development stage. They are only because of two things. They are from, I think there's one previous slide to this one. No, not that one. Okay, so spiritual development state, Gunsthanak, depends on two situations, Moh and Yog. Moh means infatuated state, and Yog means, in general language, we just say activity of the body, speech, and mind. Of course, we are going to just go into detailed definition of that. So that is not a true definition, but right now for our understanding, infatuated state and action of from mind, speech, and body makes spiritual development state, means it creates the gunsthanak. Having said that, moha means infatuation, means soul state. Now, soul is invisible. And I have five senses with me. We are five sense human being with a mind. Those are the one, the knowledge acquired through five senses and mind in general at beginning level. It only knows the matter substances. With my eye, I can see that this is a pencil. With my eye, I can say that this is a phone. With my ears, when the phone is ringing, I can hear the phone ringing. With my nose, I can smell. Yesterday, we had a gasoline leak in from the car. I can smell that because of my nose. And if I want to taste the food, my tongue is helping. If I want to touch, the touch sensation will tell me how is that particular thing I'm touching. Touching, tasting, smelling, seeing, or listening. All those five senses, they do the function of knowing the matter substances. Because the five senses itself are matter. The skin is matter, tongue is matter, nose is matter, eyes matter, ears are matter. So they are the matter by themselves. And mind also technically is called matter. We won't go in that technicality right now, but it's considered matter. So all those six senses are considered matter, so they know the matter only. Matter senses, they know matter only. And I want to see the things beyond. I want to recognize my soul. And soul is to be known only by supersensuous way, means beyond the sensual knowledge. So to understand the soul, and not only understand soul, but then to understand the spiritual developmental state of the soul, that means I need something else. For example, as we talked last time, I think that if I say what's the temperature in New York right now, and you may say, oh, it's very nice, warm and everything. And you may say, what's the temperature over here? And I may say, it's okay. Now, my okay is 80, 85 degree, and your okay is 55 degree, 45, 50 degree. How will I know that your okay and my okay are not the same? What is okay? So now we need some kind of a parameter to know what is that okay means. If you are in the deep winter freeze and now it becomes 45, 50, it is good. And for me, that 45, 50 degree temperature will be a cold, very cold. 65 degree in Phoenix, people consider as a cold. So definition changes. So to give the uniformity of those sentences, we take the support of the thermometer. And thermometer will tell me, yeah, I'm okay, it's 85 degree. You are okay, it's 50 degree. So now I know relativity. So the thermometer gave me a gauge through which I can understand what is happening to the weather wherever it is. Similarly, this more means infatuated soul state, which I can't perceive because it is supersensuous and my physical senses cannot perceive the soul. So I'm taking help of material karma. Material karma are closely associated with the soul, and whatever happens in the soul gets reflected in the material karma. If I'm angry, Then there is a fruition of material karma, of anger producing karma is there. When I'm greedy inside, then greed, material karma, fruition is present. So this karma can give me kind of, because it's matter and my senses can perceive the matter, can understand. So we are we are taking the help of this karma. And why karma and why not anything else? Because soul and karma, they have intimate relationship since time infinite. Body also has intimate relationship with the soul, but body is different in the sense I'm born. When I am born, body is associated with the soul. When I die, body gets dissociated from the soul. But karma, they are remaining with the soul in all the conditions since time infinite in the past till the soul obtains complete nirvana. The material karma are always associated with the soul. So that's why we take material karma. So now, deluding karma are the one that we need to understand what it shows. So to go to deluding karma, it's a very busy slide, but it's okay. There is nothing to get confused about, nothing to get scared about. We'll make it very easy over here. So deluding karma is over here. That deluding karma, actually karma, the scripture will say karma are 8 different types of karma are there, out of which 4 are called destructive karma and 4 are called non-destructive karma. In the destructive karma, the knowledge obscuring karma, perception obscuring karma, and obstructing karma, and deluding karma. There are 4 in the destructive karma phase. So, out of all the karmas, the deluding karma is a king of all the karma. If one wins over the deluding karma, if one takes aim on the deluding karma, then you can win the rest of the karma. Now, again, we are talking relative thing to aim on deluding karma and everything. Actually, my deluding state, my rag and dvesh, my infatuated state, that is to be taken care of. But conventionally, we can just say, if you aim on deluding karma, then you win over the whole game. There is one room with an intense darkness sitting in that room since time infinite. Intense darkness. And I ask you that Priti, go and take care of this darkness and remove the darkness. And you said, wait a second, that darkness is there for time infinite. And it's a pitch dark, intense darkness is there. How can I remove? Can I go piecemeal removal, slowly, thing at a time? No, I want you to remove completely. How can I do it? Well, then at that time, what you're going to do is, you're going to go not looking at the darkness. Darkness is there. You want to remove darkness, but you make darkness secondary. Because your aim is to remove darkness, but you made it secondary because you decided to find a matchstick, to find a lighter, to find a light switch in that room. Once you have the light, that intense darkness of infinite time disappears in 1 second, not even split second. Similarly, I need to remove deluding karma. The darkness of deluding karma. I don't look at karma. I look into the light of knowledge within me. When I have the light of knowledge within me, when that light is lighted, then darkness of deluding karma disappears. But here in our situation, here to understand that spiritual development state, we are taking help of this deluding material karma. So we have to have that thing clear in our mind, that we want to remove the darkness, and so I want to remove this deluding karma. I'm going to have light of knowledge wake up into the soul that will remove everything. So that is the real ultimate thing here, to understand spiritual development, just to understand, we are taking support of this one. So what is this deluding karma do? Deluding karma, two different types, mainly two different types: right faith deluding karma, right conduct deluding karma. The name itself, they are they know, they tell you what does it mean. Right faith means samyak darshan. Deluding means obstructing karma. One which obstructs my samyak darshan, one which obstructs my enlightenment, one which obstructs my self-realization. That is called right faith deluding karma. And then next part is a right conduct deluding karma. I'm not able to do certain things because I have a right conduct obstructing karma, deluding karma present. So they don't let me go to temple, they don't let me do the good things, they don't let me do the Swadhay, and all those things we can just blame it to this karma. But again, remember, as we said, karma are nothing. We are just taking support of the karma, but karma cannot do anything. Only my intention. If I want to find a job in New York, and no matter how hard it is, the family is about an hour and a half behind and all those things, but I want to do that, so I take care of it. Even though I have 5 days a week, I have to stay in New York, and then on the weekend I go and meet my family. So we do it. If we have intention to do it, we can always achieve those states. So here, right faith deluding karma, right conduct deluding karma, right faith deluding karma are further divided into two: wrong belief deluding karma, right wrong belief deluding karma, clouded right belief. This yellow bullet, just ignore right now. That's not important for us to remember. Only the thing, right faith deluding karma, means that's the one which prevents me to get samyak darshan. So now, you want to get samyak darshan, what do you have to do it? If this karma are the one preventing my samyak darshan, and I want samyak darshan, so what do I have to do? Just remove this karma, right faith deluding karma. When you remove that one, then it's taken care of. Means this guy is only the one, if I work on him and take it out completely like this, I have a samyak darshan. What happens into the soul, we are not going to discuss. We are just, because we want to discuss spiritual development state. So right faith deluding karma, when you take it out, it gives samyak darshan. Once you have samyak darshan, you still have rest of the karma present here. These karmas are present, right conduct deluding karma are still present and operational, but it's much easier to remove them. This is the most difficult guy to remove, right? Faith deluding karma are the most difficult to remove. Most difficult means one has to give intense personal effort to remove them. Once you remove them, these guys, this is their base support. Whole deluding karma is resting because of this guy. If you remove that, then whole thing becomes very, very, very weak. Very weak. Whole thing becomes very weak. And it will start crumbling pretty soon. Just like a war is going on, and if you are dependent and a war has they have a king on the other side has a huge army, somehow, whatever way, if you can kill that king, his army will dissipate right away. So in the whole karma theory, whole karma, you remove deluding karma. And in deluding karma also, you remove this guy, right faith deluding karma. And once you do that, whole army of karma starts crumbling down and their support becomes weaker, and ultimately they will get dissipated in the near future. So once you remove right faith deluding karma, then remains right conduct deluding karma. What is right conduct deluding karma? There's a huge things over here that we have mentioned. There are two types, passions and quasi-passions, or toxic emotions and quasi-toxic emotions. Passions, kashai. This is the word kashai. This is called no kashai. Kashay, kashai. This is no kashai. N-O-Kashay, and this is a kashai. These kashai are 16 different types. Let's take only 4 different types right now. These passions are 4 different. Infinite bondage producing passions, partial vow preventing passions, complete vow preventing passions, perfect conduct preventing passions. So these are 4 types of passions are present, or you can just say toxic emotions are present within us. Infinite bondage producing toxic emotions, partial vow preventing toxic emotions, complete vow preventing toxic emotions, and perfect conduct preventing toxic emotions. So there are 4 types. Each 4 types, they have the asterisks. In each one there is that asterisk means it includes anger, ego, deceit, and greed. So infinite bondage producing anger, ego, deceit, greed. Partial vow preventing anger, ego, deceit, and greed. Complete vow preventing anger, ego, deceit, greed. And perfect conduct preventing anger, ego, deceit, and greed. So 4 times 4 is 16. So these guys, passions or toxic emotions, there are 16 parts, subparts are there. We just go through the names right now. We don't want to go through definitions. We just, because I would like to know what is deluding karma. What does it mean? So that's all. When we go some other time, we'll go in detail of each one. But right now, this is what it is. So passions are 1, 2, 3, 4. Infinite bondage producing, partial vow preventing, complete vow preventing, perfect conduct preventing, anger, deceit, ego, greed. Means 16 types. Now, quasi-passion or quasi-toxic emotions. There are 2 types, laughter, etc., and sex inclinations. Laughter, etc., has a laughter, indulgence, dissatisfaction, sorrow, fear, and disgust. Hashya, rati, arati, bhai, jugupsa, and hashya, so, rati, arati, bhai, jugupsa. Hashya, so, rati, arati, bhai, jugupsa. So there are 6 types. Laughter, etc. Means, for example, let's say that we are in a party and somebody is joking something about it. And we keep on laughing about it. It's about some fat person, for example. And we are all are laughing. That fat person is sitting there and we are making fun of him and we are laughing. And he is also laughing along with us. But remember, he doesn't like that one. Internally, he doesn't like it. He's not happy with that. But he's big-hearted guy, so he laughs it out. So laughter also is a quasi-passion or quasi-toxic emotion. You just say, hey, I was simply laughing. I mean, but that was also hurting somebody. You may say, what's the difference between passion and quasi-passions? Passions are toxic emotions which are stronger type, and quasi-passions are milder toxic emotions, and so they are milder form. These are stronger form, these are milder form. So the laughter, etc., 6 types, and sex inclination means male sex inclination, female sex inclination, and common sex inclination. So this kind of thought process also, or act also, becomes a quasi-passion. So right fit generating karma, we have divided into 3 over here. 3 passions are divided into 16 parts, and quasi-passions are divided into 9 parts. 6 over here, laughter, etc. 3 are sex inclination. So 9 plus 16 plus 3 is total 28. So there are 28 subgroups of deluding karma operating within. Now, what happens when my soul starts going into the increasing spiritual development state? My soul starts climbing ladder of spirituality. What happens with deluding? Remember, we said spiritual development state is because of our infatuation and yoga. So we are talking infatuation right now. So what happens? So we are doing to, so when I'm on a first spiritual development state, I'm on first spiritual development state right now. So what happens? At the first gunasthana, wrong belief is present, mithyatva is present. So it's a first spiritual development stage, and wrong faith state is present. So I have a wrong faith right now. I am on a first gunasthana. I'm on first spiritual development state. And at that time, all these 28 subgroups of deluding karma are operational. All these guys are operational within me. So I am bonding karma every moment of all these 28 subtypes. I keep on binding karma every moment, every moment, every moment. So as long as I'm on a first spiritual development state, mithyatva state, wrong faith state, I have all this karma are in operation with me, and I'm bonding that one, and they also come in fruition with me. All 28 types, they're in an operational state right now. So this is what my first, this is the first spiritual development state, means all the karma are operational. Which karma? Deluding karma. How many? 28 subtypes. So, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he's very cute.
Hello. Yeah, okay. Is there a question or anything that we have to go? Okay, all right. So basically all the karma.
Kirit uncle, I think it's just you and me. I'm looking here. I don't see it.
Yeah, so I don't know what was the noise coming from somewhere.
I'm sorry, guys. I just joined and my audio was not muted.
Oh, okay, no problem.
It's Chirag.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So the first spiritual development state, we have all the 28 subtypes of deluding karma operational. Now, if you don't remember the names, I won't worry about it. But you will. I can assure you, you will. Because it is because see, right now my aim has to be on this guy, right faith deluding karma. But still, all the karma in the first spiritual development state, they are operational. That's it. That's it. So if somebody says, I'm in first spiritual development state, my light should go in the brain, 28 subtypes of deluding karma are operational. That's it. Okay. Now, Having said that, now we can go to the next slide and see what happens in next slide. Next slide, remember what I said? This is the guide to take care of it. This is the guide to act on it. And if we act on it, then it gives enlightenment. So if you're on first spiritual development state, the next thing you go is you jump to fourth spiritual development state. That's the next step automatically. Either you're on first, and if you leave first, then you go fourth onward. But fourth, you came to fourth. What happened at fourth spiritual development state? This right faith deluding karma, they are with the three subtypes, they are gone. And while they are gone, infinite bondage producing anger, deceit, ego are also gone. So, what happened now? These are 28 subtypes of deluding karma, out of which these three and these four, these guys are four, anger, deceit, ego, greed. So 4 and 3 are gone in right once you are on a fourth spiritual development state. Means it is called fourth spiritual development, fourth gunsthanak, or it is called samyaktva, or it's called samyak darshan, or it's called self-realization, or it's experiencing of the soul. Remember, we keep on saying experiencing of the soul, experiencing of the soul. Bring your faith from outside to the internal, to the eternal soul substance and everything. That is called enlightenment. That's called samyak darshan. And once you obtain samyak darshan, first time once obtains, that is this thing happens. These guys are gone. So fourth spiritual development state, what's gone? Right faith deluding karma is gone, and along with that, infinite bondage producing karma are gone. Now, remember, this guy at this fourth spiritual development state is called Gnani. He's called learned person. He's called experienced person. He's called experiencing of the soul person. He is called a self-realized person. What happens in self-realization now? Fourth spiritual development state is called self-realization. And what happened here? Infinite bondage producing anger, ego, deceit, greed are gone. Out of 1, 2, 3, and 4 types of passions, these are the most intense passion. So once they are gone, these are most important, intense, toxic emotion state. Once they are gone, these guys are limping right now. These guys are limping. Is it as if the deluding karma is on a 1 second. Oh, okay. Deluding karma is a big thing, out of which infinite bondage producing passions are the important thing. And once they are gone, these guys are limping. For example, I'm in a race and I'm just going for the gold. I want to have a gold medal. And I'm going to run the marathon and I'm going to be all right. I'm prepared for it. Now, suddenly, in the beginning of it, my leg goes into spasm and or fracture or whatever. So now I'm limping. Means I will not make the race now. This guy is a more important. Once this is gone, these guys are just puny little thing. They don't do much of the action. 99% of the karma bondage occur, roughly. Actually, in the literature, it says 99.99999% of bondage occurs because of infinite bondage producing karma. So if they are gone at a fourth spiritual development state, means these are extremely minor things are remaining. And when they are minor things, they are called gnani. They are called learned. They are called enlightened soul. They are called right knowledge soul. They are called samyak gnani. Samyakdarshi, self-realized. So the big thing happens once these guys are gone. So that's why our aim is always to attack this guy. These are karma. They are material karma. And I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to have light of knowledge shining within me, and these guys will just disappear. They have no place to hang around with me. So fourth spiritual development state, I removed these guys. That's called Avirat Samyak Darshan, or it's called Samyak Darshan or right faith, Samyak Darshan or right faith with vowless conduct. That's the name of the state. For us, it's an enlightenment or right faith state. So there's a fourth spiritual development state. Now I'm progressing. Now I say, hey, you know, I found the path and I'm going to progress. I want to go more. So now I come to the next level. What is the next level? Well, I'm coming to the fifth spiritual development state, or it's called right faith with a partial vow conduct, because this partial vow preventing passions are also gone now on the fifth spiritual developmental state. Or fourth, up to these guys were gone, and then fifth, this extra guy is also gone. Now there is more purity occurs in the soul. He is called householder with the vows. He is observing 12 vows of the householder. What are those 12 vows of the householder? When the time comes, we'll go through those topics also. But in general, there are 5 minor vows. Non-violence, non-stealing, non-lying, celibacy, and non-possessions. So they are the minor vows, and there are 7 other vows are there. So basically, that person has intense experiencing of the soul, and he has more purity occurs within him, and because of purity, he keeps on behaving certain way. Now remember, we still have an impurity present here in this way, or in this form of all these big things that we are writing over here, but they are limper. They don't have much capacity to affect the soul as much. This was the only guy affecting infinite bonded producing passions, was affecting our soul a lot. Now the second guy is also gone, partial vow preventing guy is gone. So now more purity has occurred. So this guy is called aspirant soul. This guy also at a fourth spiritual development is called aspirant soul, because he has that much purity occurred and that much impurity still present. So partial purity, partial impurity. So that's called aspirant state. That's called sadhat jiv. So now he is trying to achieve his aim. So he succeeded partially, and partially there is a still impurities remain. So when he goes to next state, fifth Gunsthana, then his purity increase and impurity decrease relatively. It's a fifth spiritual development state. Now after that, this is the householder state. Means, let's say me and you, we get the spiritual development state right now. Then we can go up to fifth spiritual development state as a householder. Once I'm in the householder state and I want to go further, then next step is complete vow preventing passions are also gone. And once they are gone, that's called 6th and 7th Gunsthana. That's called 6th and 7th Gunsthana. That means this is the Gunsthana of the monk. The naked Digambar monk. With the purity inside his soul, he is at this state. Kunkun Acharya Dev, who wrote down Samaysar for us, 2000 years back. Amritchandra Acharya Dev, who wrote the critics on Samaysar 1000 years back, they were in this state, 6th and 7th spiritual development state. The 6th state is called Pramat seventh state is called apramat, means in the sixth spiritual state, he is having some activity of body going on. If he's hungry, he's eating, he's talking to his disciples, he's writing texts and everything. And so those are called six spiritual developments. That's called pramat. Remember pramat? Carelessness state that we talked in sixth stanza. Remember in sixth stanza we said first to sixth gunsthanak is called pramat gunsthanak, carelessness state. What is a carelessness state? When you are monk right now and you have so much purity within, how come you are called careless state? Because carefulness state, which is apramat, seventh spiritual development course, apramat means at that time soul is engrossed within. That is called pramat. Apramat, sorry. Soul is engrossed within this apramat. Means careful state. Means careful means this is what I am supposed to be. That's what Muniraj says. Kunkun Acharya Dev says, I'm supposed to be within my soul. I have to get engrossed within. And when I'm in the engrossed state, that's called apramat, means careful state. And when I come out of the experiencing phase of the soul, and when I come out of it, that means I'm doing some bodily activity, I'm thinking, I'm talking to my disciples, I'm writing the scriptures, I'm taking alms and everything. And so those are called pramat state, means careless state. Careless means they are not into the engrossment of the soul. So both the state is for the monks. Which monk? Who has cleared all these passions. That means he has that much clarity and clearness and the purity of his soul obtained. Now, let's say that today somebody, I become naked monk right now. Will I be in this state? Here's a Kunkun Acharya Dev, for example, or Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev sitting over here. And here I am just took my clothes out and I say, hey, you know, I would like to be like you. Well, taking clothes out does not mean that you are a really experienced monk with the self-experience. When I have an internal purity with this much amount of deluding karma gone, that means I have obtained that much purity of the soul. And when I obtain purity of the soul inside, then outside I will be in a naked monk state only. So, naked monk state does not automatically tell you that there is an internal purity, but internal person having internal purity like this, he will be a naked saint for sure. For example, us as a human being in the previous lives, infinite times in the past, we became naked saint. Without this realization, without this karma getting removed, simply taking clothes out and then following certain scriptural guidance and all kind of things, but not realizing the soul. I'm doing worshipping and I'm doing all the activity that a monk is supposed to do. All those activity, physical activity, I do perform, but I don't have self-realization. That means nothing. This is the state for the self-realized person, that at the 6th and 7th Gunsthanak, he will be a naked saint. Just like Kunkun Acharya Dev and Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev. So that's a 6th and 7th spiritual state is a monk state for the monk. Okay, now we are progressing further. What happens next? Well, next is everything gone. Next is everything gone. And when everything is gone, That means I'm on 10 spiritual developmental state. That means I have a very, very...
Look, Kirit uncle,
Yeah.
since it's only you and me, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When I was listening to a pravachan with Rakesh Bhai Javeri, Gurudev,
Yeah.
he said that when you die, you have your karma that goes with you, but also your sanskar
Yes.
goes with you, right? So that's your inclination.
Yeah,
So
well,
is your inclination part of your karma, or is your inclination something totally separate entity?
okay. Well, let's talk about it. And I know that you had written that one to me before. And so at least, okay, we can just go to that. And it's very important that that's a good question that you brought it in. Let's see. Sanskar. What is sanskar? Impression from the previous life. That's called sanskar. That's called sanskar, basically. Impression from the previous life, you know. Now,
So is it only on the previous life,
previous
or is it
life,
what you...
previous lives.
Okay,
In this life also.
okay, okay.
Whatever you have done, and you have, let's say that you're born in certain family, and their norms were observed in certain family, and then from that you just grew up and you came to this state. Now, anywhere you go, you are called Jain because you have a sanskar. Your eating habits are certain, your behavior is certain, your worshipping is certain way and everything. So that's called sanskar. This girl is sanskari girl. The way she walks, the way she talks, the person, the way he walks, the way he talks, you just understand that what is his makeup.
But see, that's not part of your Atma, right?
No, we are coming to that. We are coming to that.
Okay, I'm listening.
So sanskar means what? Sanskar means what? Sanskar means, number one, actually, I may have to bring another slide. Let's see. Let me just try to bring another slide. Okay, hold it. Come on.
Because I thought it may fit into this conversation
Yes.
that we're having.
Okay. Praman Gnan. Okay, let's see how much is the Gujarati or English. I don't remember, but maybe it's Gujarati. But we'll understand that one. No problem. Share screen. Okay. Now, the knowledge, you can see the slide, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. The knowledge is, I have a knowledge attribute, right?
Right.
A knowledge attribute has a knowledge mode, right? We know that part.
Yeah.
I go and dissect that knowledge mode. What do I gain out of it? What do I see? It's called comprehensive knowledge. Now I dissected that knowledge mode, right? I took the knowledge mode and I start analyzing that knowledge mode. And I took it to lab and I say, hey, let me know who you are. So knowledge mode says, you know what? I can have possible two forms. I could be either comprehensive knowledge, complete knowledge, and that can be divided into direct knowledge and indirect knowledge. So the comprehensive knowledge is of two types, direct knowledge and indirect knowledge, right?
So direct knowledge is your Atma, and indirect knowledge is from, the other way around. Indirect knowledge is your Atma, and direct knowledge is your immediate experience around you.
No,
right?
No. Direct knowledge means soul knows directly without anybody else's help.
Okay, so direct knowledge is, and that's everything, past, present, future, of every Atma, of everything. It knows everything. That's direct knowledge.
Now, Siddha Bhagwan, does he have body? No.
No, but he has pure direct knowledge.
Because he knows through the soul. He doesn't need any paraphernalia of or senses or anything. He knows directly.
He
Now,
knows direct. Yeah.
Now, if I'm blind, for example, can I see, or seeing related knowledge is not there? If I'm deaf, then hearing related knowledge is not there. And if I'm mute, then the spoken related knowledge I don't have. So that's called indirect knowledge, in which the soul knows with the help of senses. So now I can see the computer screen. That's why I know this slide. Who knew the slide? Who did the reading part? Soul did it independently, but the I became the medium. I became conduit. I became instrumental cause.
Okay.
Here, my ears became instrumental cause. When I want to smell, my nose became instrumental cause. When I want to touch, the skin became instrumental cause. But ultimate knowledge is done by the soul only. But there's a conduit over here, right? So right? Now,
all right.
Now, the direct knowledge means directly self-experiencing. The fourth spiritual development state, when I'm there, that means I have direct experience of the soul.
Okay.
But I don't have direct experience of the soul. So whatever I know right now, I'm knowing through the help of senses. It's called indirect knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Having made that so clear, now we can talk. Direct knowledge is, let's put the direct knowledge on the side. We don't want to worry about that one right now. Important thing for ourselves is indirect knowledge. This is also we don't need right now. Indirect knowledge, yes. So indirect knowledge, and some of my slides are screwed up here. Okay, they are coming up here right now. Okay. So indirect knowledge can be divided into 5 different points.
All right.
5 different points. The memory, recognition, smruti, pratyabhijna, hetu. This is called, no. Now, there are 4 different parts. 5 or 4. Hold it, okay? Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Because my computer has a problem, so it just doesn't show me right thing. My fonts are screwed up. Whatever reason. Okay.
Take your time. It's just you and me.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, I'm going to share this screen with you. Okay, Ketan is also there right now. Okay. Share screen. Okay. So the direct knowledge, you can see the screen right now, right?
That I can see. Yep.
Direct knowledge is called pratyaks praman. Direct knowledge, and it's 2 different types. No, hold it. Let me bring this slide first. Okay, comprehensive knowledge is 2 types: direct knowledge and indirect knowledge. That we know that, right? Comprehensive knowledge, direct knowledge means soul knows directly without help of any senses.
Okay.
Direct knowledge is when I know something with the help of senses, physical senses.
Okay. Yeah.
So now, when I have, what do I have right now as a human being? I have 5 senses and mind. But you are saying 5 senses and mind gives you only indirect knowledge. Well,
that's right.
That's partially true statement. It's not completely true statement, because that direct knowledge I can also get through my perception, through my indirect knowledge. I have it right now. I can also turn into direct knowledge. For example, what did we say in 6th stanza, 7th stanza, and 11th stanza and everything? That first you do the Swadhay. you do Swadhay, you do reading, you do writing, you question people, you go to your Sadguru, you find it out the meaning of something, you clear your doubts there, and now ultimately you understand the philosophy and you kind of imbibe on that one. Imbibe, and that's also thought process. That's an indirect knowledge. I'm imbibing, I'm meditating, I'm contemplating, and those thought process I keep on. I'm the soul, I'm the soul, I'm the eternal soul, I'm with the knowledge, I'm the all-knower soul substance, and these are those are the things I keep on thinking. For example, when I'm thinking, it is still occurring with my indirect knowledge. Now, in that state, I made my decision about my state of the soul in a very, very solid way, but still it is in the thought process that this is what my true state is there. Once I made that kind of a strength within me through this indirect knowledge with the help of physical senses, by memory, by recitation, by reading, by writing, all those things, indirect knowledge. Once I have made the absolute definite idea about myself, who I am, what's my real nature, that's all I know right now. I shut down the door from all the outside influences, and I go in so-called meditative state, and I keep on thinking about myself only. That's called reflective thought. It is still indirect knowledge. But now from that indirect knowledge, a fine moment occurs and my thought process quiets down, my reflective thought process quiets down, and I enter into the primary abstract comprehension, means nirvikalpta, means I give up my thought process, my thinking process, what was going on. Now I'm going in an experiencing phase. So my indirect knowledge ultimately helps me to go to the experiencing phase, and that is called direct knowledge in conventional sense. So those are the things happens. Now we are interested in the indirect knowledge. So memory, recognition, logic, inference, and scripture. These are 5 divisions of indirect knowledges are there. Five indirect knowledges are there. Memory, what does it memory means? Memory means, last year, Mother's Day, my kids and husband took me out certain place. That came in memory. It's there in memory. It came in memory. We think about it. But how did I think about it? Because in my present knowledge mode, I think about it. Means I'm thinking about previous, but who is a capacity? My knowledge mode has a capacity to remind me from the previous experience, means memory, my memory. Happening in the present mode, but it is of the past experience. That's a memory only. Now, second is called recognition. Recognition means, let's say that I have seen a lion somewhere 20 years back. And now I see the lion in the cage right now in the zoo. And I said, wait a second, that's the same lion, that the lion that I have seen, it's a similar thing, same thing I'm seeing. So that's called recognition. My memory said recognition, it did, okay, I had seen that, for example, I had seen you last year. Now I'm seeing you now. You are the same person that I saw last year that you are right now. Who is doing the decision? I am making a decision. When? Right now. From how? Who is doing it? My knowledge mode is doing it. But what does it do? Knowledge mode just recognized from the previous life, or the previous meeting, that this is same Priti that I made last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a recognition. But again, that happened in the present knowledge mode. Now,
Okay.
third is a logic. Logic is a very funny thing. Logic is that's a thing. It says, for example, when I'm in the kitchen, and I'm talking back home, when the kitchen used to be that you used to would be woods and coal and everything, and people used to make the food and everything. So when they used to light the fire, there used to be smoke. So if I'm in a living room, when I went to the kitchen and I saw the smoke, that means I know that fire has to be there. That's called logic. Smoke is there, fire has to be there. Smoke is there, fire has to be there. So that is my logic. Again, how did I logic? When did that logic occur? In this present knowledge mode. Indirect knowledge, remember, with the help of mind. This mainly mind. Mind is doing all this work. Memory, mind is working. Recognition, mind is working. Logic, mind is working. Then inference comes. What is inference now? Inference means when I was in kitchen, I'd seen a smoke. That means there was fire. That was my logic. So now I'm seeing the smoke on a mountain. When I'm seeing the smoke on a mountain, that means fire has to be there on mountain. That's my inference. This was my experience from before. In the kitchen, when there was a smoke, there was a fire. So when I'm seeing the smoke right now, means there has to be fire. That's my inference, looking at the smoke on the mountain. I have not seen fire in the mountain, but I made the inference. Who made the inference? My present knowledge mode made the inference. My present knowledge mode of indirect knowledge in which my senses and mind are involved. So now I have this, when I make inference in logic and inference, or in recognition also, all these things, that means they are called sanskar. They are called sanskar.
That is sanskar?
Yes. So that sanskar means my present knowledge mode, my indirect knowledge, present indirect knowledge mode, in which senses and mind are involved, in which now I recognize you. How did I recognize you? Because I had a quote unquote previous sanskar. I had a memory, something about memory about meeting Preeti before. That's my quote unquote sanskar. I recognize you, that's from my sanskar. I made logic because I had seen the smoke in the kitchen and there was a fire, so I made the logic there. Now inference, wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. That's my inference. Again, it happens in my present knowledge mode, which
But
is
see,
in indirect knowledge.
but Kirit uncle, from one, I mean, it's not, it just doesn't fit one thing, is from one life to the next. If the only thing that goes with you is your karma, how can indirect knowledge go with you to the next life?
No, but knowledge goes with you, right? Knowledge is always there with you, right? Whether you are in Nigor or whether you are in a Siddha Bhagwan, right? Knowledge is always there, right?
Well, how? That's knowledge is part of just the substance of your brain.
No, wait. Where did you bring the brain over here? Brain is a matter substance.
No, but okay, so if you have direct knowledge, that Atma knows everything, right?
Yeah.
But if you have indirect knowledge, that is just in your current life. How can it be from
Current life,
previous life?
Current life, but who made that ultimate knowing? Who did the knowing, ultimate knowing?
That's your Atma.
Atma. It did indirect knowing. Soul says, I don't care, it's a no indirect or direct, but it's a knowing, and that's my function. So soul is doing that function, right? So whatever happens, if it's indirect knowledge, it is part of these guys, And that's what is happening in the present life, that my knowledge is, let's say that what did you eat 10 days from now? I don't remember. What did you eat? What did you do month from now on this particular day, particular time? I don't know that part. Well, if I have the sharp knowledge, my knowledge is becoming sharper and sharper, then I can remember everything. Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, I was just listening yesterday. Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami remembered at the age of 2 years of age, he remembered. He said in one of the pravachan that when I was 2, my sister used to play with me. Now, because his knowledge is sharp, his knowledge is much more sharper. His expression of the knowledge is much more sharper. So he remembers 2 years of age also. And Ben Sri Ben, the Champa Ben, who was the associate of Gurudev Sri, she had a knowledge from the previous lives. She recognized that Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami was in Mahavira Kshetra. She was also there, and the other Ben Sri Ben, Shanta Ben, she was also there, and they were friends. They used to go to Samaysar. They used to listen to the lectures of Simanda Swami, and then Kunkun Swami came there. She remembers all those things because she has an extreme expression of the knowledge at the time. And if you can just take the Siddha Bhagwan, he knows everything, past, present, future of everybody right now. So it just depends how much sharper knowledge you have it. So sharp knowledge, you can remember anything because it's a present knowledge is capacity.
But isn't sanskar inclination, right?
Yeah, so
if I have inclination to want samyak darshan, so
yeah.
that sanskar comes from one life to the next life.
So,
right?
so that means when you want to put it in, first thing, knowledge does knowing, right? Number one.
Yeah.
When the knowledge is doing knowing, there is also conduct attribute does the conducting. So wrong conduct and right conduct. So that right and wrong conduct occurs from the conduct attribute. And knowing occurs from the knowledge attribute. So knowing and conducting both are working parallel together. And that makes the sanskar.
All right.
Kirit, uncle?
Yes, go ahead.
Isn't all of the different forms of indirect knowledge just a mode of direct knowledge?
Yeah, see, ultimately, indirect knowledge or direct knowledge, who does that one? Does this pen end up knowing the knowledge? Does this phone has all the knowledge? Well, there's a quote-unquote memory, but this phone does have any more knowledge? No, it's only I as a soul has a knowledge. So soul says, I have a knowledge, period. Now when we go and dissect that knowledge, we make the division of direct knowledge and indirect knowledge, and indirect knowledge is 5 different types, and direct knowledge is so many types, whatever. But again, it's a part of knowledge. Knowing means soul. Soul is doing the job. Now we make the division when there is when that knowledge acquired through the senses, we just say it's an indirect knowledge. But again, it's a knowledge. When I smell something, my nose is a vehicle for me to have the smell goes to my soul. So soul perceives the smell. Now, for example, nose does not do the function of hearing. The ears does not do the function of seeing. Eye does not do the function of tasting. They are only one thing only. They do their own job. For example, there's a fan in the house. Fan's job is to give to move the air. Air conditioning to give the cold air or hot air. Then there is a bulb. It gives the light. Then there is refrigerator, it gives the function of refrigeration. This computer is doing function of computing. Behind all those things, who is the main reason? The main reason is electricity. Electricity, when it's passing through, it does a function of refrigeration, or giving the light, or giving the computing, or giving the fan, or giving air conditioning. So those equipments, they are nothing without electricity. So all these five senses are nothing without my electricity of the knowledge from the soul. So when I'm experiencing cool air from the fan, well, fan is very good. Fan is not good. It is a fan has an electricity which makes fan work. That's why I'm getting cooler. So electricity is more important. Same way, all this knowledge, five senses are making knowledge. Important thing is current behind that. There's a soul is behind that. So you want to call indirect knowledge as a cold air from the fan, or cool air from the air conditioning, or refrigeration, or the computing. You can give different name, but behind that is electricity is a main thing. Behind five senses, soul is the sole knower of the whole thing. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. We're making bid from the different portions of knowledge,
Yes.
But in reality, the true knowledge lies within the soul, and we're just making subdivisions for the purpose of understanding.
But that's it. Because see, again, a function of knowledge is to know with division and without division. Some function of knowledge is to know indivisibility plus divisions. So it can know with divisions that, okay, this is a fan and this is the phone and everything. It makes those divisions. But ultimately, it's all knower soul substance is indivisible inside. Ultimately, is indivisibility inside. So that ultimately, coming back to Preeti's question was sanskar. What is that sanskar? It's a present knowledge mode that I have with the indirect knowledge, which can do function of all this memory, recognition, logic, inference, and scripture, all those things. So this is what sanskar means. We just give the sanskar as a kind of a broad meaning, day-to-day use of the word. But again, where does it actually fit into my soul's armamentum? That's
Well, Kirit uncle, the whole question actually arose not so much the meaning of sanskar, but the other Gurudev had said that when a soul goes from one life to another, your atma and your karma and your sanskar also go.
And what does it mean that the soul goes from one life to other life for sure, right?
I understand the karma and the atma, but I never heard that the sanskar also goes from one life to the next. And that's where I got a little confused.
So remember, right now, I did something super bad. That means I have this bad karma got stuck to my soul, and those karma comes in fruition in future lives. And at that time also, if I join in the function of in the fruition of that karma, then I end up making same kind of mistake again. So basically, when I'm going from this life to next life, me as a soul go, karma attached to my soul, they go there, and in the next life, karma comes in fruition, and at that time, my knowledge mode decides to act whatever way. In general, what will happen, that karma fruition occurs, and usually I get joined in that, in the mithyatva dasha, in the wrong fate state. As soon as there is fruition of karma, I just join there. I just I get associated with that right away with my deluding state. And because that karma fruition gave me certain situation and I acted accordingly. So you can just say your sanskar came in picture. But actually it was your knowledge mode and your conduct mode decided how to act at the time. And if you're going one step further, they're predetermined that you are supposed to act that way only.
That's the other thing. Everything is predetermined.
So it was
So
supposed to happen that way. It did happen. And previously I did bad thing and my fruition of karma came and I acted again bad way and everything. And so that's it, you know. I mean, so this is the called sanskar. For example, let's say that in previous life, somebody was walking and he just put his foot on a banana peel and he fell down and fractured and I started laughing at the time. So I bonded those bad karma. Now those karma come in fruition this life and quote unquote, I also fall down and fracture myself and everything. And other guy may laugh, may not laugh, but at least I got the fruition of my previously bonded karma. So was it sanskar? Because I was laughing before. So karma became conduit to give me that kind of a situation.
I was actually thinking even more simple than that. Sanskar gives you the inclination to look within.
Yeah, inclination means my behavior, that's it, my behavior pattern. And that behavior pattern, along with my indirect knowledge, my behavior pattern.
Okay.
So that's what it is, right? At least, you know, because it was needed that you had talked to me that before, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now we come back to our other things what we were on.
The
So
deluding karma.
deluding karma, yeah. Share screen. Okay. So now what happens after? I don't need this. You can see the screen right now, right? Deluding karma.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, all right. So now when the soul reaches 10th spiritual developmental state, at the end of 10th spiritual development state, everything, all this karma, deluding karma, they are gone. They are gone. So now I have perfect passionless conduct is generating. At the end of 10th, after the 10th Gunsthanak, soul will go to 12th Gunsthanak. What happens to 11th? We will just put it on the side right now for our understanding. Yes.
So 10 is without Chaitrama?
At the end of 10th, not beginning of 10th, end of 10th will be end of Charitramoha completely.
Okay, so beginning of 10 is still Sanjwalan. Right?
It's a Sanjwalan Kashai is there. And out of Sanjwalan Kashai, only Sanjwalan Lob is present. That's why it's called Suksma Sampray. Suksma means a micro, a subtle form. Sampray means lob. Lob means the greed. So subtle greed is present in the beginning of 10th. But again, you know, the 8th, 9th, and 10th, those they last very, very short time. It's called Antar Muhurt. Antar Muhurt means less than 48 minutes. Less than 48 minutes means it just comes and goes away just like that. So soul travels very fast from 8 to 9 to 10, and then ultimately it just goes and rests on 12. So when the soul is on 12th or end of 10th, means all this passion, conduct deluding karma and fate deluding, everybody is gone totally. So that's a spiritual development state occurs in the end of 10th and beginning of 12th. So here 12th, everything is gone completely, same as 10th, end of 10th and now beginning of 12th. Now, once the soul is on 12th spiritual development state, means Vitrag Dasha, means complete passionless state of 12th spiritual development state. Now what happens? Now on the 13th spiritual state, now remember, the deluding karma are totally gone, means my infatuation state is totally gone. So my infatuation state, when I remove completely, it brings me up to 12th spiritual development state, up to 12th. And now from 13, 14 and beyond, 13, 14 and the Siddha, then yoga comes in picture. Vibratory activity of the space point of the soul comes in the picture, or mind, body, speech activity comes in this picture. Mind, speech and body activity are only present from 13th onwards. So at 13 and 14, it will start going away. So we'll talk. So right now, from first spiritual development state all the way to 12th spiritual development state, my movements, infatuation was decreasing, and ultimately gone completely. Now, when the 13th spiritual development state comes, then yoga comes in picture. Yoga means vibratory activity of the space point of the soul. So we will just, let's finish this slide. With this yoga, one sees the instrumental cause as action of mind, speech, and body. Original thing happens is a vibratory capacity of the space point of the vibrating activity of the space point of the soul, and as a result, with that being instrumental cause, outside I see the speech and mind and body activity. Now, what is this vibratory activity? Means if I take this soul completely and I divide them into small space points like these. So these space points are all over the soul, and there are innumerable space points are there. Innumerable. Now, what is happening at 13 Sayogi Kevli or 13 spiritual development state? What happens? There is a vibratory capacity of this space point is occurring in this fashion. Innumerable space point of the soul, they have vibratory capacity occurring in this fashion. So that is going on. That is called 13th spiritual development state. Means with that activity on outside, you see mind, speech, and body activity. So Tirthankar Bhagwan and a Kevli Bhagwan, he has a physical body because he has this vibratory activity going on. He has a speech, that means that is his vibratory activity is going on. He has a mind, vibratory activity of the space point of the soul are going on. So vibratory activity of the soul space point is going on here, and when that is occurring, it's called Sayogi Kevli, or it's called omniscient Lord with physical body. So this is omniscient Lord. There's a 13th spiritual development state. Word yoga is an altered manifestation of a yoga attribute of the soul. Soul has an attribute called ayog. Soul has an attribute called knowledge. Soul has an attribute called conduct. Soul has an attribute called faith. Same way, soul has an attribute called ayog. And function of the ayog is to be in a stationary point. But altered manifestation of that ayog attribute is to have a vibratory capacity. So vibration occurring is an altered capacity of that attribute. For example, knowledge has an altered presentation of knowledge. Attribute is ignorance. The pure presentation of knowledge is a pure knowledge mode. Faith, the altered presentation is wrong faith. The right presentation is right faith. Conduct, altered presentation is called wrong conduct. Right presentation is called right conduct. Same way, ayog. Ayog is a right presentation, but yog is an altered manifestation of ayog attribute. So physical activity is going on, speech is going on, and mind is also there. That is called Kevli Bhagwan or Tirthankar Bhagwan. We can say Kevli Bhagwan and Tirthankar Bhagwan. Both they have the Sayog. Sa means with, And a yog means with a yog. Yog is this one manifestation. So they are kevali with a sayog, vibratory active with the space point of the soul. Now, when the soul goes to 14 spiritual development state, at 14 development state, it becomes all this space point of the soul, innumerable space point of the soul, they become stationary. They become stationary means ayog is an innate attribute of the soul. When ayog is there, that means associated mind, speech, body are gone. And in this 14 spiritual development state, soul remains absolutely very few moments only. And then the soul goes to Adobhi of Suddha, pure soul. All the karma get dissipated and the soul becomes Siddha, and that's a beyond 14 spiritual state. So 1 to 12 is a deluding karma operating. 13, 14 is a yog and ayog, yog / ayog working. And Siddha Bhagwan has no nothing, no yog, no deluding state, nothing. It's a pure form of Bhagwan. So these are the way spiritual development state occurs. Now, the one that on the 12th stanza when we are coming, what does it try to tell us? The soul from the 4th spiritual development state, when his purity starts, all the way up to Bhagwan's level, 13 spiritual development state, that is called up to 13 means before 13 means up to 12 you can say. So he is called aspirant soul. He's called aspirant soul. And 13 and 14 and beyond, they are called basically free soul, basically. Technically speaking, only free soul is a Siddha Bhagwan, but the destructive karma are gone in 13. They are not there in 13, they are not there in 14, and they are not there in the Siddha Bhagwan. So they are technically called Kevali Bhagwan, basically. So Kevali Bhagwan is the ultimate knowledge. Before that, knowledge is indirect and direct and indirect, and the mixture is there and everything. So they are called aspirant soul. Out of all this aspirant soul, mainly 4th spiritual development state, when you get the Samyak Darshan. 5th spiritual development state, when you are the householder and observing vow. And 6th and 7th spiritual development state, when you are monk state. They are called aspirant soul, basically. Because 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10, 12, they come very quick within no time. So they are not to be considered for our understanding. Aspirant soul mainly are 4th spiritual state, 5th spiritual state, and 6th spiritual state. So now this stanza talks about those souls, aspirant souls. So now we have pretty good idea what aspirant soul mean and what happens and everything. So we'll be talking more about, now that we have background available, we have some basic understanding of this soul and that spiritual development state and everything, then whatever it talks into the 12th stanza, it makes lots of sense. Now we'll be able to concentrate better on the 12th stanza, that what it tries to say. It's a Kunkun Acharya, they wrote down 2 lines, and there lots and lots of people, they did the misinterpretation of that stanza, and that's why lots of confusion occurred. And Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, he is extremely clear in his mind what he wants to say in this 12th stanza in commentary. So we'll go through that. Any questions so far? Oh my God, hour and a half passed by. Woo. Any questions regarding the spiritual development state or whatever, you know?
Kirit, uncle?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question that's not related to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm on, like, I a couple of weeks ago, I started reading Moksha Prakashik again. When I first read it some years ago, I didn't really know anything.
Mhm.
Not that I know anything now, but I know a little more now than I did a year,
Yeah.
6 or 7 years ago. And I read it right now. I'm on the 4th chapter.
Mhm.
And I have to say, I'm reading a translation by, I forgot the name, an English translation.
Yeah, Hemchandji.
Yeah.
Hemchandji
And I
Hem.
have to tell you, it's unbelievable.
You know,
Like, what I
yes,
want to ask you is, was Tordomo Samyak Drashti?
yes, yes.
I mean, he has unbelievable clarity.
You know, not only he was Samyak Darshi, but he was called Acharya Kalpa. Kalpa means Kalpana. Kalpana means imagination. So he was said that his intellect was as good as 6th and 7th spiritual stage Acharya Bhagwan. So he was that clarity, absolute super clarity he had it. And
Like, everything is so clear. I mean, I've only read 3.5 chapters, but even in English, which is my native tongue,
yep.
I have to read paragraphs 2 or 3 times because it's so dense and it's so, if you just gloss over it, you miss it. It's really unbelievable. It's remarkable.
He had done now, and you know what, if you like that one, actually whole Moksha Prakashak is only preface. It's not the actual scripture. He wanted to write lot more thing. This was only his preface of the whole thing that he was planning, but then the situation turned around, and he has to die at age 32 because of whatever thing happened, that the king was being told that this guy is a phony and he doesn't know anything about it, and he professed that he is a learned guy. He's not, and he's working against the state. Whatever reason, the king got wrong information, and king decided to have him get killed. So at age 32, he is given he was been told that you'll be killed, and the elephant is been sent for him to be killed. He's lying on the road, and the elephant comes, and the elephant is supposed to put his foot on the totemoji. And elephant stopped. Elephant didn't want to put the foot. So Totemoji told elephant that, listen, my age-determined karma comes to an end right now. You are only nimit, so nothing is going to happen to you. Don't worry. Put your foot down on me. And then he died that way. Then the king found out that it was all some bad people gave wrong information to him, and he repented a lot, but it was all done. So Moksha Prakashak, he wanted to write lots and lots of things. This was just preface, but the preface itself is so intense. And when you come to Rahasyapurna Chitti, the last chapter after 9th one, that is amazing. Each and every word you have to digest, So it's a really it's an amazing work he has done. It's really good. And that Gurudev got it after 10 years of his Diksha. And once he got it, he got Samaysar after 8 years of Diksha, and 10 years after he got this Moksha Prakashak. And Gurudev went in seclusion. From that onwards, 10 to 12 years, Gurudev remained in the seclusion, only study both the scriptures and more scriptures and everything. Thereafter, he came out and started giving lecture.
Kirit uncle, what struck me so far, again, it's only 3.5 chapters, but what has struck me so far, and what I feel like Moksha Prakashak is doing that I haven't read in anything else, is that, at least the parts that I've read so far, it focuses on mithyatva, it focuses on the rogue, it focuses on the disease, it focuses on the diseased person. Now, this is tremendous, obviously, Samaysar, etc. But this is talking about the cured person.
Yes.
Moksha Prakashak, at least so far, and that's his own analogy, the disease and the diseased person. He focuses on the diseased person. He focuses on the ways Chaitarmo and Darshanmo affect you, how it is in every part of your life and your experiences and your sensitivities. So that's what I find to be really unique, because he obviously, whatever, very learned person, very talented person, and obviously some Mikdashti, but he's focusing on the mithyatvi.
Yes.
At least.
And again, if you come to the 7th chapter, I mean, you'll go, I mean, I have no better word, but you'll go nuts, crazy, because that 7th chapter talks about samyak sanmukh mityadrashti. Means this is a samyak darshan, and I'm almost there. I'm the wrong believer, but I'm almost here. So what is the state of my mind? How do I come to this point and everything? And those are the super nice way he has described, amazing way he has described. It's a great way, you know, and the same thing, Krupala Deva has described the same, basically same principle from different words, you know. So
Kirit, that's a thing. So I didn't think of it that way, but you just said it, and now I realize Doramoji's talking about me.
Yep, you are right.
I guess maybe that's why it's so powerful to me. He's talking about me. He's writing about me.
Who I am, where I am.
Srimaji is not writing about me. Amruchandacharya is not writing about me.
Yep.
Doramal is writing about me.
Yep. And it just wakes you up. And you know, people, I mean, in some of the people who are super expert in Moksha Prakasha, they will tell, like on by my mentor, I mean, in Aligarh, he will, when we talked about it something, he will just say, Kirit bhai, whatever question you have it, the answer is on page 225 on the 3rd paragraph, 2nd line. That kind of memory they have it. And they have digested Moksha Prakasha in the blood, you know. And it's amazing. So, you know, with Samaysar and Moksha Prakasha, if we can understand those two scripture, I mean, it makes us a whole person, complete whole person. Yep. I'm glad that you are reading, and that's Hemchandji has done super. He's an engineer.
He's unbelievable. That guy is unbelievable.
Yeah. He is a engineer, and he's Bal Brahmachari and everything. And
he's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Secluded one small little room in Devlali, and that's it, you know. But he's amazing capacity he has it, you know.
He's brilliant. I mean, I'm sure he had a lot of help. I'm sure a lot of Muniraj and Pandits helped him. Yeah. But he's brilliant.
Yes. No, you are right. Anyway, I'm glad that you are doing that good reading and everything. So that will help a lot, and you know, that will inject a lot more discussion in our stanzas and everything. So that's good. Very nice.
So Kirit, there's a lot of answers in Moksha Prakasha. There's a lot of answers.
Yep. And you know what? You understand those answers and questions because you already have developed some base with that. Otherwise, you know, it goes above the head. As you said, one paragraph, it takes long time to digest what he tries to say that, you know. And I think Gurudev also has given lectures on Moksha Prakasha. So those books are also available with his lectures and everything, you know. Anyway, we'll stop. We'll just keep on going forever, I guess, and we'll meet next week then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Jai Jinendra, thank you. We'll do that closing. Javani ke gyan se suje lokalo, sovani mastaka namo sada deta hu. 9 times Namo Kamantra. Jai Jinendra, Michhami Dukram.
Jai Jinendra, Michhami Dukram.
Kirit?
Yeah.
There's a